Hello dear students, welcome you all in my video tutorial. Now this video is for class 10th, chapter 2nd, Internet Services part 2nd. In this chapter we are discussing about various kind of internet services. In previous video also we have discussed few services. In that the first one is information retrieval. It means using internet we can access any information whenever we require by using software application. That software application is our web browser. Next service that we have discussed is email. As you all know, it's electronic mail. Is the most popular internet application. It allows user to send and receive messages in real time, and it is cost effective and eco-friendly also. Next thing that we have to discuss is email address. As you all know, if you want to deal with email ID or email, so we must have a unique email identification, that is email account. And whenever we generate an email account, the email account have a specific format. The format like first we have username, next @ sign, next we have domain name, at last we have domain extension. And one thing here I want to tell you, whatever username that we have is, it must be unique. Next that we have discussed is types of email services. So we have discussed two different type of email services. First one is web based email service, second one is application or client based email service. In the previous video only I have told you to create an email account, and in that I mentioned some simple steps. By following that steps you may create your own email accounts. Now in the previous video only we have discussed the structure of email. This generally you might have seen whenever you compose an email. You may see various fields like form, to, CC, carbon copy, BCC, blind carbon copy, subject line, body, attach file. Like these you are getting so many fields, and these fields you must have to fill before sending a mail. Next topic that we have covered is search engine. So search engine is an application that helps user in finding information or document from the vast sea of knowledge that is internet. And right now one of the most popular search engine that we are using is Google. Apart from Google we are having so many search engines. Next thing that we are discussed in previous video is how a internet works or how a search engine works. So in previous video only I described a flow chart or a diagram through which I try to make you understood how a search engine works. So as a client, whenever you want to search anything, you need to open your web browser. Inside web browser you need to type a URL, and that URL goes from client machine to server machine in the form of query. As that particular query reaches server side, server responsibility is to send that particular query to the index server. Index server responsibility is to find inside the index whether it have any content related to that query or not. If index server finded some content, then immediately it will redirect that particular to the document server, and from document server we are getting the response. Like this a search engine works. In the same content, next we have a spider or web crawler. What is this spider or web crawler? So the search engine use extremely efficient software called spider or web crawler. The spider continuously crawl on the web to comb out any newly published web document or newsletter and find their web addresses. It means through this spider or crawler, our search engine try to find the newly published information and their web addresses. As user enter a keyword in the search engine, these spiders crawl from one server to another server in the matter of microseconds to compile a massive list of matching result of URLs. With the blink of an eye, the result appear before us. It means, dear student, as you type anything inside browser or inside any search engine, immediately you are getting so many links inside in the front of your screen, computer screen. So these all happen very quickly. It depends on the network connectivity. Next, in the same content, next topic that we are going to discuss is indexing software. The next step involves the indexing of all the search results. The spider sends the list of documents and their web addresses to the indexing software, which extract important information from them and prepares an index of the same. This information is stored in a database and is used at a time of searching. The level of indexing varies from one search engine to another search engine. Some search engines prepare to index every single word in a document for better search result in the future. It means, dear student, as you all know, every book or every dictionary having their own index page. Through that index page, our search is become easier. So here also our search engine using indexing software to make our search better and faster. Next, in the same content, next point that we have is search algorithm. Whenever we perform a search by entering a keyword, the search engine searches its index database using a sequential method called search algorithm. Once the search operation is completed, the matching document and their corresponding URLs are displayed to the user. To understand this search algorithm, dear student, suppose you are having a book. If I told you open this topic or open chapter number 10. So to make your search faster, the first thing you are doing is to see that particular index page, and from that you are getting the page number. As you are getting that page number, immediately you jump to that particular page. Like this, your search has become faster. The same way, the benefit of indexing software is, or search algorithm is, to reaches that particular content as much as possible. So that is why our search engines are using these all points to make our search easier and faster. Again I remind you, or again I repeat, our search engine using three different kind of technology or content. That first one is spider or Webcrawler, next is indexing software, and last one is search algorithm. Next thing that we are going to discuss is search engine tips. What is this search engine tips? Dear students, to optimize your search result, we need to follow some guidelines. Means, to get an exact result, add your query in double quotes. For example, if you are searching any content or any topic, suppose you are searching best selling book in India, and after search you want exact result. So what you need to do? The better thing is you need to make your search inside double quote. Like for example, I have mentioned here best selling book in India. So as you mention your search query in double quote, you are getting exact result. Next guideline that we need to follow is, imagine you are searching for a quote or you do not remember it fully. Sometimes it may happen we want to search something but we are not remembering the full search that we are going to search. For example, if you want to make a search like this, so we need to use asterisk symbol. We need to use asterisk symbol. For example, how you make your search? Suppose you are searching some content, there is nothing asterisk except change. It means you don't know the full content, then also you want to search it. So for this we have a provision, make your search in double quote and use asterisk sign, asterisk symbol. Like this you are getting whatever you want to search. Next guideline that we need to follow is, to ensure that the word or phrase must be appear in the search. For this use plus sign before the search, word or phrase, and if you don't want that particular search word or phrase in your search, so use minus sign. For example, suppose dear student, you want to search any topic and you want advantages as well as disadvantages both, or sometimes we want only advantages, we don't want disadvantages. So like that, if you have any search, so for this we have a provision, use plus sign or minus sign. Next guideline that we need to follow is, if you find it difficult to compare two items and you want to make a best choice after going through the difference in that case, add vs sign between the search. Like sometimes we have some confusion. Suppose you are purchasing a product and you want to compare it. For a simple example, suppose you want to purchase a smartphone, but you need to compare. So for this, you use VS, and you need to make your search in double quote also. For example, here I have mentioned, suppose BMW cars versus Jaguar cars. Like this, you may compare both cars properties and you can decide or you can take your own decision. Next thing that we need to follow is, whenever we are searching, the lowercase word is not case sensitive, but the uppercase words are case sensitive. Like in our search, whatever content we are writing in lower cases, that are not case sensitive. But if we write in capital letters or uppercase, that is case sensitive. So these all are some guidelines that we need to follow to make our search better and faster. Next thing that I am going to discuss is finding people on internet. Some search sites help people in locating an individual's email address, contact number, location or date of birth when one does not have access to the phone directories. Sometimes it may happen you want to find someone but you don't have their contact number. In this condition, we are having some sites through which we can find that particular person. The resources information on these bases, these web-based directories is formed from yellow page and white page or added to the directories database by individuals themselves. And some internet sites are also there to find people like www.pipl.com. Next that we have is findpeoplesearch.com. Next is addresses.com. Apart from this, many more are there. Next thing that I am going to discuss is FTP protocols. FTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Is a standard internet protocol for exchanging file between two or more computers on the internet over TCP/IP protocols. FTP uses TCP/IP protocols to upload or download files to our computer from another source. The source can be web server or a remote host over the internet. Now dear students, before this we can discuss TCP and IP protocols. So what is TCP and IP protocol? So as you all know, in previous video also I told you, TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol and IP stands for Internet Protocol. The responsibility of these two protocols is TCP carries the information in the form of packets, and as you all know dear student, whenever we send any information through internet, that particular information travels in the form of packets. It means whenever you send any data, that particular data is distributed in different packets, and that packets travel random order on the network. As that packet reaches to the destination, it reassembles in that original form. After this, we are getting the exact data. So TCP responsibility is to deal with that packets, and IP responsibility is to decide the correct destination wherever that packages have to be reached. Now here one more word I told you. We can access information by using FTP from web server or a remote host over the internet. The web server and remote host, what it means? Web server means, as you all know, a server which provides services to their client. Remote host means a machine that is not with us or any specific machine that is far away from us. Next thing that I am going to discuss is FTP transfer involves two computers, one act as server, another act as a client. Suppose you want to create a scenario like this, FTP server and FTP client. In this, what is the role of FTP server and what is the role of FTP client? That I am going to tell you. The FTP server is a computer that has a FTP address just like an HTTP website. It is an important component in FTP architecture that initiates a client's request for an FTP connection from other computer and help in transferring data back to the client over the internet. It means FTP server serves the request which is coming from the client. It means if FTP client made any request, then the response coming from the FTP server. Next thing is FTP client. The FTP client works on client server architecture. An FTP client initiates a request to the FTP server for connection using FTP protocols, once the connection is established, the client software can be used to be downloaded and upload, manage file and folder on the server. Next thing that I am going to discuss is requirement to connect to the FTP server. Before connecting an FTP server, you need to install FTP client software on your computer. You can also connect to an online FTP server by using its web address, username and password. Many FTP server requires you to sign in, but some FTP server allow you to access server as a guest. Some of the FTP address are provided in the slide as first one is ftp://ftp.freestone.net. Likewise, so many are there. Next point is uploading and downloading files. FTP client can connect to FTP server using one of the available FTP server programs like WinScape for Windows, and for Linux also we are having so many programs. We can connect an FTP server through Windows Explorer as well as from Unix also to download or upload any file by using FTP protocols. So these are all the information about FTP protocols. Hope you will understood. Next internet services we continued in next video. Thank you everyone.